Dear students, welcome to the English class. In today's class, let us read the prose Where There Is a Will, There Is a Way. An introduction to the chapter. No one is born great. One becomes great by his deeds, willpower, patience, and perseverance. These make a person overcome his or her weaknesses and disabilities to achieve his or her goal. Here are two stories of athletes who have achieved their best in spite of their physical challenges. They were differently abled indeed. So, here, before we go to the lesson, let us see what exactly the lesson says here. No one is born great. By birth, nobody will be great. One becomes great by his deeds, that is, by his work, by his willpower, by his patience and perseverance. If a man has all these qualities, he becomes great. These make a person overcome his weaknesses and disabilities to achieve his or her goal. Now, in this lesson, you will come across two stories of athletes who have achieved their best in spite of being physically challenged, in spite of being physically handicapped. They had achieved to the peak point of their life. Let us see what are their achievements. Know the meanings of few new words that you come across in this lesson. Event, an important happening, exciting, causing strong feelings, participate, take part in, victim, one who suffers pain or disability as a result of an accident or disease, massage is pressing or rubbing to remove pain, gazelle, deer like animal, recommend, suggest or advise, sprinter, fast runner, spikes, pointed pieces of metal on running shoes. The sports persons usually wear it. Decathlon, a competition where athletes take part in 10 separate events: 100-meter dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter run, 110-meter hurdle, discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, 1500-meter run. Students, you need to refer to page number 93, 94 and 95 for the lesson reading as we move ahead with the explanation. Let's read on. The 1992 Olympics had put Barcelona on the map of the world. Thousands of athletes take part in the games. Why do so many countries send their teams to the Olympics? It is because the Olympics is one of the world's biggest events. It is an honor for any country to send her athletes to take part in these games. It is not success or failure that counts. What matters is participation in the games. So, here the author says, in 1992, the Olympics, which was held at Barcelona, it had put the world on the map of the world here. Barcelona had become famous. Thousands of athletes takes part in these games. And why is that so many countries send their teams to these Olympic Games? It's because it's one of the world's biggest events. Asian Games are held, many other games are held, but Olympics is one of the biggest event. And it also says that it's an honor for any country to send her athletes to take part in such games. It's not that the success or the failure of that participant that counts for that country. It is what it matters most is the participation in the games. Participating in the Olympic Games itself is an honor for any country, says the author. The players put in their best efforts to win. They want to set a new record and become the world's best ever. So what have the players have set their mind? They set their mind that they have to put their best in order to win, and they also want to set a new record because each time a player will want to break the record of the previous one, and that's how they become the world's best ever. A few among such players have already been victims of accidents. A few others have been victims of diseases. Yet none of these see themselves as disabled. They are eager to show that they are champions in their own fields. One such champion was Wilma Rudolph of the USA. She is popularly known as the Black Gazelle. She had the speed and grace of a deer. So, a few among such players have already been the victims of accidents. One who takes part in the Olympics, they had become the victims of few accidents, and some of other victims of other diseases. Yet none of these see themselves as disabled. Though they are handicapped, though they are the victims of few diseases, they never thought of themselves that they are not able to do anything. They are eager to show that they are champions in their own fields. People, those who have become victim of these, have shown themselves, they have proved themselves that they are not disabled. They try to bring up their championship. One such champion we have to read across in this lesson is Wilma Rudolph of USA, and she is popularly known as the Black Gazelle. She had the speed and grace of a deer. Now, what exactly is a gazelle? It's a deer-like animal which is known for its speed. Wilma belonged to a large Negro family. In fact, she was the 14th child and was very weak when she was born. At the age of 4, she had an attack of polio and was in bed for 2 long years. The doctors recommended regular massage to get her limp leg back to normal. Each member in her family spent some time massaging her leg, and in course of time she was able to walk. She, however, needed special shoes. So let us know the background of Wilma Rudolph. She belonged to a Negro family, a very large family, and in fact, she was the 14th child and seemed to be very weak when she was born. And at the age of 4, she was attacked by polio, one of the disease which never had medicine at that time. And she was in bed for 2 long years. And the doctors recommended the treatment of regular massage to get her limp leg back to normal. So it's a disease affected to the legs of the human beings usually. So the doctors prescribed a massage, a regular massage, so that she could get back to her normal health. And each member in her family spent some time massaging her leg, and in course of time, within a short period of time, she was able to walk, and she, however, needed special shoes for herself. As her legs became a little stronger, she began to run about and play. At no time did she feel that she was physically handicapped. And at this time, what happened? As the little time which took over for her to come to recover to her normal thing, she became a little stronger. She began to run about and play. And at no time did she feel that she was physically challenged or physically handicapped. Never did she feel that she was disabled. She took it as a challenge for herself. As years passed, she improved in health and she grew strong enough to play basketball for her school. She was always cheerful and active and was full of hope that she would one day be a great player. So days took over as she recovered, as years passed on. When she was strong, she felt strong enough she could play, and she played out basketball for her school team. And she was very cheerful and active too, and was full of hope. She never got disheartened because she was a little disabled, and she was with the hope that one day she would be a great player. A trainer of athletes happened to meet her one day. He saw that she was a talented girl and could become a sprinter. She took regular lessons from this coach, which helped her join the American Olympic team that went to Melbourne. At the next Olympics in Rome, she became a superstar and won 3 gold medals. She used to say jokingly, I run fast because mine is a large family and I need to get to the dining table first. So, in the due course, a trainer of athletes happened to meet her. A trainer is a trainee, is a person one who trains people. So he happened to meet her one day. And looking at her talent, she felt that she could become a sprinter. A sprinter is a one who runs fast, a fast runner. And she started taking regular lessons from this coach. The coach started training her, and that helped her to join the American Olympic team that went to Melbourne. And the next Olympic, which took place in Rome, she became a superstar and won 3 gold medals. And funnily, she used to say that I run fast because mine is a large family and I need to get to the dining table first. When members are more than each one rushes to the dining table. So she funnily used to say that this had made her a fast runner. Now, this is the story of Wilma Rudolph. Let us move on to the another champion who suffered a lot as a boy was Rafer Johnson. When he was only 12 years, his left leg was badly crushed in a machine. The front of one of the toes was hanging out as though it would fall off. The surgeon who treated him feared that the entire leg might have to be cut off. Raffo was very much upset. All the time he was in bed, he prayed to God for his mercy. He grew better day by day, and the surgeon could finally save his leg, but it did not heal completely. So, the another champion whom we will read across here is Rafer Johnson. He suffered a lot as a young boy. When he was only 12 years, his left leg was badly crushed under a machine. So his left leg was badly injured in a machinery. And the front of his toes was hanging out. The toes were hanging out as though it would fall off now. And the surgeon and the doctor who treated him feared that the entire leg might have to be cut off. The doctor had to think that the leg had to be cut off. Listening to this, Raffer was very much upset. And all the time when he was in bed, he used to pray God to show mercy or kindness on him. And this helped him, his prayers itself helped him to grow much better day by day, and the surgeon could finally save his leg. But it did not heal completely, that was not completely cured. Raffer's interest in sports was so strong that he did not worry about his weak leg. He often had difficulty in wearing spiked shoes, but this did not stop him from having regular practice. He worked hard day and night and was finally selected for the Olympics. He took part in the decathlon and won the first place. He was called the greatest all-rounder athlete in the world. So, his interest in sport, Raffer's interest in sports was so strong that his disability did not stop him. He did not worry about his weak leg. He often had difficulty in wearing spiked shoes, which the sports persons use. But thus, that did not stop him from having his regular practice. He worked hard day and night and was finally selected for the Olympics. And he took part in the decathlon. And what is a decathlon? It's a competition where athletes take part in 10 separate events such as 100 meters dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 meters run, or 100-meter hurdle, discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, 1500-meter run. So it's a series of events which they can take part. So he won the first place and he was called the greatest all-rounder athlete in the world because of his achievement. He is given the title that he is known as the greatest all-rounder athlete in the world. Both these champions had a dream. They set themselves a goal to achieve the dream. They worked with a will to reach this goal. Their dreams came true and they became world famous athletes. So, both these champions, though they were physically challenged, though they were physically disabled, they never had that thought in their mind that they were unable to do anything. They achieved themselves. They had a dream. They set themselves a goal to achieve the dream. And they worked with a will to reach this goal. What was very strong in them? The willpower, the mindset was very strong. And their dreams came true and they became world famous athletes. So, what it says is where there is a will, when you have a strong willpower to do something, there is a way. It will show you a path to move towards that, towards your success.